So at this point, we probably do have to just concede that the Planet of the Apes movies is probably like the best franchise, right? At least in terms of batting average. Like, there's really only one bad one just okay one, a remake that doesn't count, and the rest are basically good to excellent. Like, that's a fucking amazing percentage. A great ratio. What else has that ratio? Not really anything. Even the Godzilla movies, when you grade on a curve, doesn't get that good. And when you think about the haphazard production schedule that they've had and how much time they've had to take off and that there's a wacky time loop thing going on, it really shouldn't be that good. But it is. This is a fucking great series of movies. Now, case in point, this one here, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which, okay, so the naming scheme is kind of silly because of copyrights, but I'll take it, is set 300 years or so after the previous one. So it's still time for this to eventually come back around into some version of the Charlton Heston movie, or not, because it's still a time loop and it really doesn't matter. And people who care about that kind of thing have themselves probably moved on to obsessing over whether director Wes Ball is going to do a good job on the Zelda movie, and if this is an indication, he'll probably do fine, whatever else happens with the fucking Zelda movie. To get to the point though, like all of these since the second one, they basically figured out that the trick to making these good is to just make good genre movies with really strong fundamentals, but with monkeys instead of humans in the main roles, and drop in references to the older movies to build out a sense of scale, though at this point it's been long enough that the mythology drops are now calling back to nostalgia for the earlier installments of this reboot series of prequels than to the originals they themselves were calling back to in the first place. But again, time loop, it only matters if you need it to matter. In any case, the But with Monkeys template they're working on for this time is a riff on Conan the Barbarian, Apocalypto, etc., Survivor, Avengers with a raided village story, in which case a young ape from an isolated, mostly peaceful tribe of bird-raising chimpanzees named Noah, who sets off on a quest to rescue his friends and family. They've been taken captive by raiders from an aggressive, more technologically advanced, heavily armed tribe of gorillas and bonobos, who happened upon them while hunting a mysterious feral human named Nova, whom their evil king Proximus believes is the key to cracking open a sealed vault of long-dormant human military tech he can use to become the new Caesar, the ape hero from the previous movies, now worshipped as a Moses-like figure of legend by these apes, not the Rome guy. Along the way, Noah and Nova, which does not become as confusing as you'd think it does, befriend a scholarly orangutan named Raka, who knows at least some of the real history of who Caesar actually was and how this whole Planet of the Apes situation really came to be. There's some clever twists as to what various characters actually want from each other that I really appreciate, in the vein of multiple people on multiple different sides, all basically operating from a position of, actually, no, I do want to win pragmatically for my own survival and benefit, rather than dying for vague idealism, because that's generally what happens in a conflict. You know, but above all else, what I like is that it keeps with the status quo of this incarnation of the series, that the stakes are pretty reasonable. The saving and or ending of the world already happened or is going to happen off screen. There's not something these characters can really do anything about. Our two big things being sought or achieved here are whether Noah can save the villagers and Proximus wants to open a really, really big door. And while there's a reveal or two as to what's actually inside, it's not a save or end the world button or a game changer that rewrites the mythology. Everything still comes down to character decisions. The effects and visuals in this are great. They really, really have just gotten this motion capture gorilla stuff down to basically perfection. The actors are extremely well committed. It looks great. Ball knows how to shoot the action. The music works. I don't necessarily know that has the full weight and gravity, you know, that Following Caesar around in the previous trilogy had, but it's really solid, and you know I'm a sucker for any monkey movie, so yeah, 8 out of 10. This is really good stuff.